This is me, Dr. Jokuto, your instructor for cross-cultural psychology. Just want to say a belated welcome to everybody and thanks for taking this class over the summer. As you have probably read time and time again, this is a really short and fast-paced course, and I strongly recommend that if you've skimmed over the syllabus, you really make sure that you take a good read now, because I received a lot of emails yesterday where people made assumptions about the course, made assumptions about the deadlines, and that's really unfortunate because I try to make everything explicit in the syllabus. So please, 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 if you for some reason skipped reading the syllabus, which I emailed to everybody, if you have not done the course overview, please do so to prevent any further mishaps. So the plan for the class, as you see, is that we're doing a chapter a day, and each day you have exercises to do. You have the reading summaries, you also have videos which elaborate on the contents of the class, and then you have discussion exercises, and at the end of every week we have an exam. And so tomorrow I'll give you a little bit more information on what the exam format and content is going to be like. I just wanted to give you a few points in terms of tying together what we've learned so far. In chapter 1, we reviewed what culture is, and things to pay attention to in addition to all the concepts is the notion that there's a huge difference between popular culture on the one hand and culture as defined in the area of cultural psychology on the other hand, and also the complex relationship between the notion of culture and how culture is defined within the context of the United States, which usually is ethnicity. But when we look at the concept of culture, it's much larger than race. So it's important to understand that distinction. Also want to say thank you everybody for posting your blog posts. We have a huge variety of students in the class. Your cultural objects were very interesting for those of you who posted them. We had things from traditional garb to instruments used to make tortillas to beads, and then we had some interesting ones like paper, which I thought was very interesting as a cultural object. So thank you for introducing yourselves. One thing that I would like you to do, if you can, is choose and upload an image that we can use to identify you. There were a few of you who were camera shy, but used an avatar, which I thought was really cool. But it would be really interesting if we could have everybody upload an image to the discussion board so that we can identify you with an image. In terms of the 2 discussion exercises that you've completed so far, you were really good, of course, at identifying groups that you belong to. Everybody's able to identify 3. Some people talked about a few more. Common themes included gender, and also for one person, the notion of gender fluidity, which I thought was interesting. People's race was an important part of their group. And then you also had things like student status, being a member of a family, a sibling, and so on. And then communities that you belong to, so things like the gaming community. And the notion of the intersection of identities were very important. So thank you for sharing your personal stories in that context. The discussion board exercise about the research paper was pretty much well done for most people. A few people unfortunately did not follow the instructions and did not submit an article that met the criteria. Remember, you were supposed to focus on culture and emotion, so your article had to be about culture and emotion. Most people were able to identify everything correctly, but there were 2 main areas where some of you had trouble. One was identifying a relevant theory that the study was based on. If you haven't taken research methods in psychology, perhaps that's one of the reasons why you had a hard time. But that's something that we should talk about, because you should be able to identify what theoretical framework a researcher used. That's usually found in the literature review section. The second difficulty that some of you had were trying to apply the concept of measurement bias and response bias. And so please revisit the chapter if you do not have a good grasp of that concept. One of the things I do while I'm grading is I put grading comments in Blackboard. So while I know that most of you log in and say, okay, how many points did I get on this exercise, you might also want to take a look at the comments that I post, even if you get a perfect score for a particular exercise, because it's all about giving you feedback. So that's the end of my long-winded announcement for the day. Thank you all once again for taking this class. Please make sure that you really understand what the pace of the class is, because we're moving right along. Tomorrow we're going to be working on chapter 4. So ciao, see you later.